you know, I might have just a small problem on my hands. In here, I have yet another Bait Finesse reel. Really, like, do I really need another one? Well, let's get started with unboxing it. Yeah, so it's an Abu Garcia. This one is actually the ALC BF7. I think it came out in 2016. And I started asking around, I don't know, a couple months ago, because honestly this has been on my desk for 3 weeks. I started asking around a couple months ago about Abu Garcia Bait Finesse reels. It seems like they're not really into them. And then just recently they announced that the Revo Xenon LTX is going to be brought to America at a pretty high price tag. And maybe I'll do a video on that sometime soon. But there were people who said that this ALC there were people who said in some of the Facebook forums that this ALC BF7 is still one of the best Bait Finesse reels out there, and some people absolutely love them. And so I found a brand new one from Digitaka, and of course I had to get a few other things too. I mean, you can't order from Digitaka or Japan Lure Shop or places like that without getting a few other goodies, right? At least I can't usually. So let's get into the reel and see what we have here. Computer, turn off the fridge.
Shutting down.
Woohoo! I tell you what, just the presentation on this is better than most modern reels. You know, of course, they had the, and maybe that's just how things have changed. We have some nice little BFS oil in here, but just look at the way the case is designed to cradle this reel. Feels pretty smooth. It might need some oil right off the bat. And again, I don't know when this was made, but it was released in 2016. So, you know, is this a new old stock reel that's been sitting around for 5 years? I don't really know. It's got clicking spool tension, clicking drag, or clicking drag star, and ooh, and a nice, I'm going to back that off. I don't know if you can hear that or not. Yeah, it's a really positive feeling. Thumb bar feels nice. These knobs are really nice too. I don't know exactly what they are, but they feel really nice. I really like the way those feel. Ooh, man, listen to that brake dial. So, what are the specs on that? Basically an 8 bearing reel, so I think it's a 7+1 is the way it would be considered. 7.1 to 1 gear ratio. They actually put the inches per turn on the box, which is nice. I don't have to look it up. It's about the same as all the other ones, so it's 28 inches per turn. It says 15.5 pounds of drag, which is pretty substantial. It's a 141 gram reel. It holds 50 meters of line. So again, it's a true Bait Finesse reel. And it's got a nice look. I'm not even sure what that is right there. See that little cap? Can you see that? Maybe it shows up here. That's just weird looking. Ooh. Now does this have a schematic breakdown? Oh, it's got, ooh! Ooh! Extra goodies! Looky here. So it's got the wrench where you can change the color out here. Of course, everything else is still going to be gold. I'll probably just leave it gold. It's got the warranty card. It's got a really nice manual, it seems like. I mean, it's all in Japanese, but back when I worked for Sony, I should have learned Japanese, and it would probably help me right now in my fishing exploits. You know, and there's something that points at that little thing, so I'll have to look this up to see what that point is on the front. It might be some sort of fine tuning for the retrieve. It's got a little, almost like a linen feeling or cotton bag that goes in there. And oh, this one is in English. It says it's a line guide nut. We'll worry about that at a later date if we have to do some major maintenance on it. This is a really nice presentation. Let's get into the brakes real quick. So as I started looking into this, how do we get this? Is it just push? Do we have to go all the way to minimum to open this one up? A different design here. So this is a little different than a lot of the designs. You have to push down pretty hard on this. And it's like this. It's like a straight down motion, but so it's not an easy one to open up for sure. Wait. I should have left it open when I had it open. There we go. Not easy to get this cover off. Oh, and then it pulls straight off. It doesn't twist like a lot of them. This brake design is pretty unique. I haven't seen anything else like it. And it's part of why I wanted to look at it, because all of the magnets are removable. So you can take all of the magnets out. But that's not even the biggest thing, is that there are bigger magnets on this side and finer magnets on this. So there's a total of 10, but it only ships with 3 in it. And then the rest of them are in this bag here. Here's the other sort of cool thing. So they're hopefully it shows up on that. I'll show it to all the cameras, but they're marked for polarity. Right? And so you got that little pink dot on one side and no dot on the other. And what that polarity is you start messing around with the direction that these are in here. Of course I say that, and that one is not marked. These are very strong magnets too. So you can start turning the polarity back and forth on these, and it creates different types of braking. And so this is highly tunable, and I'm kind of curious as to you know, how well it's going to perform, and how does this 7-year-old reel stack up against sort of the modern reels. I've done a little bit of research, and it seems like I want to run this with 3 and 4 for the stuff that I'm going to throw initially. The spool weight on this, I'm going to check this with the bearing because I don't want to pull the bearing off. It's only 8 1/4 grams with the bearing, so I'm going to, and that bearing's got to be at least 1 gram. There's not a lot of visible grease or lubricant on it, so I'm just going to, I know some guys like to flush their bearings and everything right when they start. I'm sort of on the other side. I just basically go ahead and I'll lube them up a little bit. I'll fish them the way they came from the factory. And then if I need some performance, then I'll get some acetone. And I don't love fiddling. I'm getting more interested in it, but I don't like messing around with my reels all the time. I just like to fish, you know, and so I'm looking for stuff that performs out of the box. That goes on much nicer than it comes off. And I tell you what, just that little bit of lubricant on there. I assume that when they include lubricant in the box, it's like, hey, we've shipped these dry or semi-dry. And so when it didn't feel super smooth, I'm like, maybe that's what it is. You know, I had it down to max, not to min. Yeah, I don't know. The design might be a little dated. And I'm sitting there trying to think, do I have a reel that this goes on? I do have one of my Kistler Bait Finesse prototypes that we used a gold and might have been a little bit of green thread on the, so I'll probably throw it on that. It's the one that's rated a little bit higher anyway. And again, I don't think this is in stock form. I don't think this is going to do great below 2 grams. It's sort of a very traditional Bait Finesse reel. If you're familiar with a lot of the AliExpress reels, you know, this sort of Magtrax style braking is what they use. It's just this one is different because all the magnets are removable and they have 2 different sizes, so you can really fine tune it a lot. But you know, I wanted to give this reel a try. It looks nice out of the box, and again, with some of the people that have said, let's actually double check the weight real quick. So this is 48.5 grams, and that says 94. So yeah, it's like right at 142, and I put a couple magnets in it. So that 141, it's interesting. That 141 is shipped with just the 3 magnets, and so as you put other magnets in, it adds a little bit of weight to it. But so yeah, it's right on the spec. It's what it's supposed to be. So you know, as always, I'll get this out, I'll fish it a little bit, and I'll leave my thoughts on it. But wanted to do this quick unboxing, let you know that I've finally added Abu Garcia to the mix, and we'll compare it to some of the other reels over the coming months too. But so far, it seems pretty nice. I mean, I have no complaints whatsoever. It feels very traditional on the design side on this side. It feels a little dated, but again, it's a 7-year-old reel, and it's just new old stock. It was literally brand new. It was the only one that they had. And I got this one in right hand as well. We'll give it a try through the fall and see how it works out. Got a handful of more sort of smaller, true bait finesse crankbaits that I'm trying to add this year. Didn't have a lot of success so far with the sort of light-ish crankbaits, so now I'm trying to go micro crank and see how they work out.